Namaste. Good morning. It's a lovely day. And what we're going to do today, we're going to do a yin yoga sequence that you can do every day if you'd like. For the purposes of this exercise, we're going to stay in each pose for roughly 1 minute for 10 breaths. You can, however, extend those poses for however long you need, but even the beginners can stay in every pose for 10 breaths. So let's start. We're going to sit cross-legged. Make sure that our sitting bones touch the ground. We're going to try and align our spine. And start breathing deeply into the belly. As you exhale, try to constrict your throat slightly to make a whooshing sound without opening your mouth. To do the ocean breath. My elementary students call it Darth Vader breath. So if that metaphor works better for you, use that. In through your nose. Out through your nose with a whooshing sound through your throat. Let's take a couple more breaths like this. We're going to fully exhale. Put the palms of our hands on the ground and reach as far as comfortable. Don't try to reach too far. Just feel a nice stretch on your lower back. Relax your shoulders. Let your head drop in between your shoulders so that your forehead is as close to the ground as you can do today. And here, there is nothing more to do. We're just going to start counting our breaths and go up to 10. Or you can count down from 10 to 1. Feeling our body sinking deeper and deeper into the bend. Letting gravity do everything it needs to do for our body right now. Breathe normally and just count your breath from 1 to 10 or down from 10 to 1, however's easier. I'm at 5 right now, so let's take 5 more. And now we're going to start slowly coming up until we're in the upright position with our spine straight and our eyelids lowered. If you want to keep your eyes closed, you can. As we are putting the soles of our feet together to go into the butterfly pose, take as much time as you need to get comfortable here. Let your knees drop to the sides. Grab your toes. If you'd like, you can start gently flapping your wings by moving your knees ever so slightly up and down. We're looking for the feeling of warmth in your hip joints. Or if you feel like you achieved most of the hip opening for today, You can just gently bend your elbows. Let go of your toes. Extend your arms forward. Put the hands back onto the ground and start sinking deep into the bend for at least 10 breaths, or you can do more. Don't go too deep into the bend right away. Just let the gravity do its job. I've done my 10. So I'm going to start slowly straightening my body and straightening my legs. I'm going to put them as wide apart as I can comfortably do today. You don't need to aim for a very wide angle, just do whatever feels comfortable. Make sure that your sitting bones are touching the ground. Adjust the position of your buttocks if necessary. And then we're going to turn our torso ever so slightly toward one leg. You can start patting yourself on that leg, looking for a comfortable position that's as far away from you as possible. Maybe today it's your ankles, maybe it's your toes today. Just feel a nice stretch in your back as you're sinking down into that position. And again, we're going to stay here for 10 breaths. Feeling our face lowering down toward the knee. You can attempt to consciously relax your shoulders here to deepen the stretch. But again, there is nothing to do and nowhere to be except right here with your body as you're completing your 10 breaths and starting to slowly come up. We're going to come to the center for a second. Take a restful breath in here. And then we're going to do it on the other side. Turn our torso ever so slightly toward the other leg. And then start looking for a comfortable farthest point you can reach today. Is it your ankle? Is it your toe? The farthest point can vary from day to day, from the amount of tension your body is in. So just stay there comfortably and let your body sink deeper and deeper into the bend as you do your 10 breaths here. And after that, we're going to slowly come back up and notice that maybe you were not able to bend as low on one side than you were on the other side. It's absolutely normal. We're going to put our palms in between our legs and start gently sliding them again toward the farthest point we can comfortably reach. Stay there for a second and then move our arms to the side to grab our toes or ankles, whatever you can grab today. Then we're going to lift our face, look straight ahead for 10 more breaths. Feel your shoulders engaged right now. Feel your lower back being the center of mass of your body. And once you've completed your 10 breaths, you can start gently straightening your body, coming to the upright position. We're going to take a breath here, and we're going to bend our left knee. Put that foot into the groin. Extend the remaining leg to the back and turn our torso to come to the pigeon pose. I'm going to spend as much time as needed to settle into the pigeon pose, making sure that our back leg is as straight as possible. We're going to make sure that we're well supported by our hands. And we're going to start looking forward, doing our 10 breaths. Feeling every single muscle in our legs being engaged, stretching, the tension leaving our hips. Stay there until you complete your 10 breaths. And after that, continuing to support ourselves with our hands, we're going to swing our body back so that some weight is on our back knee. We're going to bend it. Walk our hands back toward the torso. And start easing up into the monkey pose. See, I'm using my hand to help myself extend my front leg. I'm going to get back down on the palms of my hands. And I'm just going to float here above the mat in the monkey pose with my front leg straight for 10 breaths. You're probably noticing by now that your breath naturally becomes the ocean breath. That's a gentle whooshing sound in your throat, in your mouth and nasal cavity sort of emerges all on its own as you complete your 10 breaths. And now we're going to start bending our front leg and come to the dragon pose. We're going to walk our hands slightly forward and find a good position for ourselves to be able to sink down on our forearms into the low flying dragon here. Let your head hang low. Feel your hips opening as you complete your 10 breaths. Listen to the whooshing sound that your throat makes. Imbibe that comfort. And once you're done with your 10 breaths, we're going to go back to be supported by our hands, and start turning our body the opposite direction. So we can come to the pigeon pose on the other side. Again, take as much time as you need to get comfortable here. Make your back leg as straight as you can. And once you're all settled in, look forward and do your 10 breaths. Again, listening to the whooshing sound in your throat. If you don't want to look ahead, you can close your eyes. Just keep your head straight. And when you're done with your 10 breaths, we're going to swing our body backwards, bending our back knee. Walk our hands backwards as well. If you need help, like I do sometimes need help, settling into the monkey pose, just grab your front ankle, straighten your leg, find a good supportive position for your hands, and let's float there in the monkey pose for 10 more breaths. Nowhere to go, nothing to do, just here at this moment, listening to our body. And after 10 breaths, we're going to bend our front knee, plant the sole of the front foot into the mat, and then we're going to be in the dragon pose. We want to deepen it, so we're going to walk our hands slightly forward to be able to get down on our forearms. And we're going to spend 10 breaths in the low flying dragon here. This pose would probably amplify the whooshing sound that your throat makes, as your lungs are working to sustain your body in this posture. And once you're done with your 10 breaths, we're going to come up from our forearms back to our hands. And we are going to come to our hands and knees. Coming to our hands and knees, we're going to find a comfortable position for our knees, first and foremost. So it helps to adjust them by spreading them slightly apart. And after that, we're going to start walking our hands to the front so that we can comfortably lower our chest to the ground, keeping our arms straight. If you cannot lower your chest to the ground, it's totally okay, just lower your face there. As you're doing your 10 breaths in this position, just notice what's going on with your shoulder blades. Feel your shoulders opening, just like you felt your hips opening in the earlier poses. And keep counting your breaths in this melting heart pose. And once you're done with your 10 breaths, we're going to come back to our hands and knees. Spread our hands slightly wider than they were. We're going to also spread our knees slightly wider just so we have more base of a support. We're going to shift the weight to our left hand. Turn our right hand palm up and thread the needle under your left arm, simultaneously lowering your body to the mat. If you can keep the supporting arm straight, that's great. If you cannot, that's great as well. We can just bend the elbow ever so slightly. And we're twisting the spine and thread the needle pose for 10 breaths. Pay attention to what your hip is doing on the same side as your lower arm. And just be there in this moment, doing nothing else but listening to your body. And after our 10 breaths, we're going to do it on the other side. We're going to check our position on hands and knees for stability. Shift some of our weight to our right hand and thread the needle. Your left hand, palm up, goes under your right arm while our body is twisting to the side and is being lowered to the ground. We're going to spend 10 breaths here as well. And as we're done with our 10 breaths, just going to come back to our hands and knees. And you can just get down on your back. And what we're going to do on our back, we're going to find a very comfortable position for our shoulder blades. Keep your knees bent. Make sure that both of your buttocks are touching the mat equally. Put your arms parallel to your body, palms up or palms down, does not really matter, however is comfortable. And after that, we're just going to put the soles of our feet together. Let our hips open, let our knees slide down further and further to the ground in the reclined butterfly pose. And we're going to take 10 restful breaths here. Just watch your knees sinking lower and lower towards the ground. You have nothing to do here. The gravity will do everything for you. And after 10 breaths, we're going to come out of the reclined butterfly. Straighten our legs. Make sure that both of our shoulder blades are touching the mat and that our head is aligned with the rest of our body. Shift around if you need to. And now we're going to spread our arms apart. Palms up or palms down does not really matter, because the next thing we're going to do, we're going to bend our right leg, move it over our left knee while turning the torso to the left as much as we can. And after that, we're going to turn our face right so that you're looking at your right hand. And after that, we're just going to stop holding the pose. And I'm going to do the breath here, even though we do keep breathing. But we're going to notice that our body naturally returns itself to be in the position fully on the back. Do not interrupt this process, and feel your body slowly returning from that spinal twist, from your left side towards the right side. And at some point, you're going to end up with your ankle on the opposite knee or somewhere on your opposite leg, and with your buttocks back again. And it's at this point that we're going to straighten our right leg, bend our left, and do it on the other side. Move it over your right knee, twist your torso to the right, and turn your head so that you're looking at your left hand. And just stay there, noticing your body slowly returning to the position where you're fully on the back. Don't interfere, don't try to hold the pose. Just let your body do what it does best. And at some point, I'm going to return fully to my back with my left ankle over my right knee or somewhere over my right leg. And from there, I'm going to straighten my legs with my arms closer toward my body. And then I'm going to get up and move into the rock pose. Sitting on my heels. I'm going to sit on my heels. Find a good position for my ankles. Find a good position for my knees. That would probably mean that they're going to be slightly apart. And from the rock pose, what I'm going to do, I'm going to start supporting myself with my fingers slightly behind my back. I'm going to stretch my ankles by getting my knees off the mat. You can even do the rocking motion here if you're just starting. As you're doing the ankle stretch. Or if you'd like, you can just lift your knees off the ground and stop supporting yourself with your hands. Put your hands somewhere on your belly or something and just float above the ground, feeling your ankles stretch. We're going to need it for what's about to come next. Or you can do several attempts. Just lower and come back up and lower and come back up. Or you can just hang in there as long as feels comfortable. And after that, we're just going to stop rocking, put our knees back on the ground, and then we're going to start spreading them even wider apart. See, I'm shifting and shuffling because I want an absolute comfortable position for my lower legs. Because the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put my hands behind my back with my fingers facing forward. And then I'm going to start slowly lowering myself onto my elbows. If you're just starting, do it side by side. And once you are on both of your elbows, lift your face to the sky. Relax your neck. As we're spending some time here, at least 10 breaths in the reclined hero pose. If you want to deepen the reclined hero, you of course can go from your elbows to your back here. But if you're just starting, if you want to attempt to do that, just go very slow and it's going to happen eventually. But if you're here and just counting the breaths, we're about midway. And once you're done with your 10 breaths, again, slowly and gently come up to the rock pose. And from the rock pose to your hands and knees. I'm going to turn around so that you can see better what we're going to do next. On your hands and knees, find a comfortable position for your knees. And then start spreading them apart one by one. At the same time, putting your heels close to one another. Or you can just start sliding your knees apart and sliding your heels together. What we're looking for is the maximum opening of the hips that is comfortable for you right now. We're going to deepen it in just a moment. We're going to start walking our hands slightly forward and then lowering down on our forearms so that our elbows are pointing sideways. And then once we're comfortable here, we're just going to put our head on our crossed arms. Lower the chest as close to the ground as possible. And we're going to spend as much time here as we need, but at least 10 breaths. Noticing that our knees are actually sliding further and further apart from one another. Relax your stomach. Relax your chest. Let the gravity do the work. As you're sinking deeper and deeper into the frog pose here. And once you're done with your 10 breaths, first try to come back to your hands, and only then are we going to start putting our knees closer and closer together. It's just slightly safer this way if your groin muscles are very tight. And then we're gonna sway back and back to the rock pose and come back to Sukhasana. We're gonna take a very deep breath in. Exhale with the ocean breath, making a soft whooshing sound with our throat. Take another deep breath in. Fully exhale. And just stay very still for a second. Listening to every and any sensation in our body. Accepting everything. Ignoring nothing. We're going to take another deep breath in. And I'm going to say namaste and conclude today's yin yoga practice. Thank you for doing it with me.